You're listening to the Night Demon Network. Go to nightdemon.net/subscriber to unlock more exclusive content.
Every weeknight, it's Buzz After Dark.
You like that?
With Eric Steele.
Hang out with me Monday through Friday from 7 to midnight for the Buzz After Dark. It's kind of like the Titanic, except instead of 3 hours to sink, it takes 5 hours.
Freaks come out at night, that's for sure. The Buzz After Dark. After Dark.
All night long.
Awesome tunes, clothing optional.
Hope you enjoyed the ride.
Weeknight 7 to midnight on 102.9 The Buzz. Bill's Rock Station.
Hello and welcome to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. I'm your host Nesbit, and today we are continuing the story of Live Darkness. So last episode we discussed the sound check, the technical aspects of recording. So at this point we are on the day of the show. The doors have opened and Night Demon is about to play their historic show, which would become the Live Darkness album. So this is Live Darkness Part 3. So sound check is done. The opening bands have taken the stage, and Night Demon has a while before they go on stage. They head to their friend's house to chill out a little bit before the show. They go to the home of Jim Nostra Demon Bartek. So a little side story about Jim. He's known as Jim Nostra Demon Bartek, formerly known as Jim Nostradamus Bartek. He holds the world listening record for most consecutive daily listens to the double Judas Priest album, Nostradamus. So he listened to that album for 391 straight days. And then when Priest came to Cleveland on the next tour, Jim met them on the tour bus. There was a big press frenzy around Cleveland about it. So after that, he beat that record by listening to Night Demon's Curse of the Damned album for a consecutive 555 straight days. And on the last day, he officially ended his streak in Columbus, Ohio in 2016 when Night Demon was touring with Carcass. He was killed on stage by Rocky and physically broke an orange vinyl copy of the Curse of the Damned LP on stage, which I hate imagining that because there's only 300 of that album pressed in orange vinyl. Ugh. So he is now known as Jim Nostra Demon Bartek. Anyway, that was a little bit of a side tangent, but I thought it was entertaining. Anyway, by now, the show is well underway. Stakes are pretty high. Night Demon are trying to relax, prepare for this important show. And they've got a bit of a wait because there's 8 other bands going on stage before Night Demon. So here's the lineup of the Cleveland Heavy Metal Holiday Food Drive. So I mentioned earlier there were multiple bands playing this charity show, and most of them were huge names in the Cleveland metal scene. Here's Bill Peters.
The show on December 2nd, 2017 came together quite easily, actually, believe it or not. I was really happy with the lineup. I thought we had a I like all the shows. I think all the ones we have done, we've put together some unique lineups where you can see some bands that don't play out too often. And that was the case with this show for sure, because Night Demon were coming in from Ventura, California. And we also had as co-headliner Breaker, one of the most popular heavy metal bands ever here in Cleveland, legends from the 80s. And they were reuniting for the first time in decades their original lineup, the original 5 guys who were in the band. So this was a big event locally with Breaker playing, and also with all the interest in Night Demon. So those 2 bands as headliners made for a spectacular night and our biggest turnout ever. We've never had a bigger turnout. We don't count all the people because the admission is free, and there are 2 stages going. The show usually starts around 5 o'clock in the afternoon and goes all the way till 1 a.m. So we have bands going on both stages. As soon as one stage finishes, the other stage starts up. So we can have anywhere from 12 to 14 bands throughout the night. And people come and go. Some people come early, some people come later, some people, come back a couple times. They might leave and come back. But this show, when Breaker was about to hit the stage, and it was Breaker and Night Demon closing out the show. Just before Breaker was about to hit the stage, the manager at the Beachland came over to me and said that we've hit capacity. We're not going to allow any more people in until people leave. And that was the first time that's ever happened. It's never happened since that we actually hit full maximum capacity, which is about 650 people in both the ballroom and the tavern combined. So I think there was probably a little more in there. I'm not sure exactly the count, but it was packed, just completely packed, and very, very cool to see.
So Breaker formed in 1982. They're pretty legendary in the Cleveland metal scene, and this was a kind of a big deal because at this show, the original members were going to reunite for the first time in more than 25 years. The last time the original members all played together is 1988. So there was a lot of buzz in Cleveland, in the metal scene, over this Breaker reunion show. So there was a lot of buzz over this Breaker reunion. Here's Jason Parks.
Breaker was another part of this event that it's worthy of note about the night that this Night Demon recorded. Here in Cleveland, we had the original lineup of our own beloved Breaker, Cleveland metal at its finest. And so that was something that was really palpable in the air. it was just an added bonus that the buzz leading up to the show, that Night Demon were recording an album, Breaker was reuniting with Hamar and Shipley.
Also on the bill, Cleveland natives Shock Paris. Also formed in 1982. These guys are also legends, with multiple full-length albums released. The last one actually in 2020. Also playing Lady Beast from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. With the lineup of this show, you're just getting hours of kick-ass metal from the time the doors open. Here's Brenda Parks.
You know, bands leading up to the big live recording of Night Demon. And we had bands Granicus, Radiatrix, The Gluttons, Resistance, another California band, Olathia, Lady Beast from Pittsburgh. We had Shock Paris, and we also had Breaker.
It's interesting to note that one of these bands dates back to 1969 and are really a part of the DNA of Cleveland rock, and that band is Granicus.
What is up, Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners? This is your resident motor mouth, Jarvis Leatherby, telling you about something very, very special here. The Decibel Hall of Fame Anthology Volume 3. This is a book, guys. That's right. We all know Decibel Magazine as the #1 metal magazine in North America for many years running. But you know what? They also have a fucking killer book series, okay? I want to tell you about this. The Decibel Hall of Fame Anthology Volume 3. This limited edition hardcover includes 25 Hall of Fame stories from Decibel's revered monthly series of artist interviews on the making of their classic extreme music albums. Featured in this book are stories behind classic albums such as Stained Class by Judas Priest, apocalyptic raids from our good buddy Tom Warrior's Hellhammer, Pleasure to Kill from Teutonic German terror creator, Court in the Act from the legendary new wave of British heavy metal gods Satan, and of course, Abigail from the legendary King Diamond. And last but not least, Night Demon's personal favorite, Heartwork from the only other band from Liverpool, Carcass. So guys, please head on over right now to store.decibelmagazine.com and grab a copy to read the definite stories of heavy metal's definitive albums. Put in the promo code Night Demon upon checkout to receive 10% off. That's Night Demon, one word, all capital letters. Get your 10%, store.decibelmagazine.com. While you're there, guys, go ahead and grab a subscription of the Mag 2. They've got a great vinyl flexi series. Do yourselves a favor here. Get on the level. Store.decibelmagazine.com. Promo code Night Demon. See ya.
So the audience at this show is really getting their money's worth. Even though the admission was basically a donation to charity or some food for a food bank. In addition to Night Demon, you get a marathon of awesome metal that leads up to the main act.
The opening bands, man, what can I say? Breaker, who is a legendary Cleveland metal band, one of the bigger ones actually, and they hadn't played in a very long time. So for them to reunite here was a big deal on its own. And for them to support us, again, it's just like one of these things. For their comeback hometown show, I kind of felt like they shouldn't be supporting us, but all these guys are just great guys, and they had good spirits about it. Shock Paris, same thing, legendary band. I mean, watch the movie Black Roses. They're in that soundtrack. Resistance, our buddies from LA, they flew out and played too. They're an international touring band. Lady Beast from Pittsburgh, we love them too. Another international touring band came out and played. Granicus, talk about a legendary Cleveland band. Please do yourself a favor and listen to Granicus. These guys go way back. I mean, I think they probably started their band 50 years ago. So, and Alethea, you know, Chris is a good friend of ours, and she does a great job. I actually think that she might have co-emceed the event. I can't remember. But they played, and there's some Cleveland favorites. And the Gluttons, super awesome kind of punk band. They opened the show. I mean, that's to the best of my recollection. I mean, keep in mind everything that I said that was going on with my health and just the general nerves leading up to this whole thing. And trying not to drink too much beer to get rid of the nerves and also, you know, be sober enough to play.
By late afternoon, the venue filled up really quickly. It was a full slate of bands playing on two stages in the Beachland Ballroom. So a band would play in the small stage, and as soon as they finished, the band would play on the big stage. It was just kind of back and forth throughout. And the quality levels were really high. I mean, Bill Peters had hand-selected these bands. It was pretty much all killer, no filler. There were some great Cleveland acts, you know, most notably the legendary Breaker performing what was, you know, possibly the last show they'll ever do. I don't know. And also, you know, Cleveland veterans Shock Paris, who are much loved for a very long time. Plus some out-of-town bands, you know, most notably Lady Beast came in from Pittsburgh. Resistance came in from Southern California on their own dime just to be part of the event. You know, great bands, great people throughout. Level of performance was really strong. The venue quickly filled up and then got beyond filled up to completely packed. It was a free show, so there was way more demand from the Cleveland metal community than there was capacity at the Beachland. It got to be just this densely packed sea of people. Nearly everybody was wearing Night Demon shirts. It was so cool. I felt like it was at a European Night Demon festival show rather than in Ohio for a holiday food drive. It just felt like, man, the Night Demon family's out in full force tonight.
So the room's packed, it's hot and sweaty, the crowd's abuzz with excitement, and Night Demon is about to hit the stage. And here's where I'd like to mention an announcement that was made before Night Demon took the stage, and I think it's a stroke of genius. I don't care what people think, I think they should do this at all concerts. This was a great idea.
So the announcement that fans were not allowed to take photos or shoot any video or even really use their phones in there, that was my decision. I will take the heat for that. Why did I do it? Well, I saw that when Guns N' Roses had reunited, they had played a show at the Troubadour, and they had actually hired this company that what they would do is you would lock your phone in this case. It was kind of like a neoprene wetsuit kind of material. And, you could have your phone on you, but it would be locked in this case when you're in the venue. If you needed to use it, you can go outside. They would unlock the case and you can go and use it. And Glenn Danzig did the same thing, and they had much success doing this stuff. And the reason why is it kind of goes back to what I mentioned earlier, I guess, about the YouTube generation or the internet age, the digital age that we're living in, the information age. It's just, I would say that every show that we've played or every show that we do play, somebody in the audience is always taping audio, filming video, and they're uploading it on the internet without our permission. So, I don't hate on people for that. I'm not totally against that. I would like to have some control over that, but I don't, and that's okay. But in the situation of making a live record, it's December 2017. The album didn't come out until August of 2018. So we knew this was going to be the case. We knew we had one shot at this. There's already tons of live bootleg stuff on the internet. We did not want to risk any chance of having any leaks from this show whatsoever. No video, no photos, no audio, nothing like that. And did people bitch? Yeah, some people bitched. But so what? The cool thing is that our fans out there are so close with the band that they did a better job of security on policing people about this shit. And we made it very clear why we didn't want that to happen. And it's for the reasons that I just mentioned. And you know what? People still complained about it. But that's life, right? That's just what happens. And if you believe in something and you're out there with your art and you put your life on the line for this stuff, you have to be comfortable with voicing your opinion about these things, and you have to do everything to protect it.
We wanted to really keep this performance under wraps. We didn't want things to leak onto YouTube. The fact that we wanted to put this out as an official release, once YouTube videos start to surface and it's, bad quality, it could really be a huge misrepresentation of the whole event and the whole show in general. See, it's a respect thing. If the band asks you to not have your phones out and cameras, I believe that maybe when we did Evil Like a Knife with Athanar, somebody probably did like a Instagram story or clip or something like that. So, yeah, so that worked out nicely. We were able to keep the whole performance under wraps, and I thank the Cleveland crowd for that.
It was also a very different show experience because there were no phones and no cameras in the air. This was so cool. Very old school approach. The band had requested beforehand. They put the word out beforehand. They asked, please, fans, don't take pictures and don't shoot videos during the set. And the fans were amazing about it. There was no enforcement. There was no security going around, with flashlights kicking people out who had their phones on. But everybody just honored the request. It was like going to a gig in the 80s before the days of cell phones and all that bullshit that is really interfered, I won't say ruined, but interfered with the live concert experience today. It was totally old school. Just the band, the fans, the music, no technology getting in the way at all.
Whether you're recording a live album or not, I think this is a great idea. Nothing annoys me more at concerts than people that stare at their phones the whole time. It's super distracting, and man, you're at a rock show. Be in the moment, enjoy it. I could rant about this, forever. I could do a whole episode about how much I hate this. But I'll just say, when you're at a concert, be in the moment, be present, enjoy the show, create a memory. I know that sounds cheesy, but like, you don't need a shitty looking, shitty sounding bootleg recording of a concert taken from the audience on your phone that you're probably never going to watch. There's a lot of concerts I've seen, and I remember them being awesome. Whatever state of mind I was in, the crowd, the atmosphere, I remember it being, amazing. And I would hate to dig into like my computer hard drive, pull some video out and be like, you know what? That wasn't actually that great. I like remembering it the way I remember it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm old fashioned. Anyway, I wish they'd make this an announcement before every concert I go to. I think it's great. So Night Demon's backstage, and they're introduced by the MC of the show, Iron Ingo Sturenberg. And it's only fitting that Iron Ingo kicks off the Night Demon set and introduces the band because, in a way, he's responsible for the show. If he had never sent the Night Demon EP to Bill Peters, it's possible the show would have never happened, and you'd never have this live Darkness album.
One of the things was that it was great to have Iron Ingo being able to come from Germany to host and to be the MC along with Chris C. He was one of the founders of our heavy metal food drive.
And Ingo Sturenberg from Wiesmoor, Germany. What an amazing guy.
As soon as he heard that Night Demon was going to be recording their live album here, it was like he had to find a way to get here. Yeah. He was coming hell or high water. He was going to be a part of it.
Hello, friends and fans of Night Demon. My name is Ingo, and I always have the honor to fly over to MC it together with the wonderful Chrissy Amick. She's also the singer of Wallachia, by the way. Jarvis said, so I definitely have to be there again to MC the show. And he said to me, it's way more than just an appearance for the festival. It's also a decision of the band to record a live album at that show. And that made me like, oh my God, I definitely want to be there and want to be part of it, and I witness that show. And so I flew over in the wintertime to Cleveland when Night Demon came to do an absolutely brilliant performance, and I had the honor to MC this event.
In heavy metal history from Cleveland, Ohio. Please, welcome to the night, one of the most hard-working bands on this planet. From Ventura, California, it's Night Demon!
So when the house lights went down, the Night Demon chant started really loud as any audience I've ever heard in the world. It was so cool. It gave me goosebumps. The intro tape to Welcome to the Night started, and it was just one of those frozen in time moments that just kind of sticks with you forever, right? I mean, this is what we live for, these kinds of moments. And I remember thinking, as I'm hearing the Night Demon chants and I'm hearing the Welcome to the Night intro tape and I'm standing there in the front row, I'm thinking, man, the world's never going to be the same after this. This is a historic moment. We're on the cusp of what's going to be a really historic performance, and I'm here. And we're all here, and it's going to be fucking amazing. Then those first hits kicked in, stage lights came up, and bam, it was bedlam for almost 2 hours after that.
Hey guys, Jarvis jumping in here. I want to tell you about Shadow Kingdom Records. Shadow Kingdom was the first domestic label to release Night Demon on CD. They put out the EP in 2013, and they also released the vinyl version of Live Darkness. Listen, you guys need to get your ass to the Shadow Kingdom Records store, okay? Right now, they're offering 10% off for all Night Demon Heavy Metal podcast listeners. Just go to the website, put in the code NIGHTDEMON10. That's Night Demon 10, all capital letters, Night Demon 10. No spaces. Put that promo code in upon checkout to get 10% off. Right now, guys, they have the Bloodstar 7-inch, which has sold over 1,500 copies, and these guys cannot hold on to it. So this next pressing, you want to get that before it goes out, okay? Also, SKR Compilation Volume 1. Guys, this is free on Bandcamp. They're giving it away for free. So not only are you going to go to shadowkingdomrecords.com and put in the code, all capital letters, no spaces, Night Demon 10 upon checkout, you're also going to go to their Bandcamp site and get this compilation for free. You're going to hear tons of fantastic fucking heavy metal. If you love us, you're going to love this label. Check it out, shadowkingdomrecords.com. Put in the promo code NIGHTDEMON10 and receive 10% off of your entire order. Do it.
One thing that makes this show so memorable is the set list. It really stands out, makes this album classic. It has a great flow. The sequencing is great. Night Demon digs into their catalog and plays almost every single song they have.
Yeah, so the sequence of the set. You know, I think I'm going to take responsibility for that. I took a lot of time to really think about it, and I thought, okay, what's the maximum amount of time that we can put on a record? So like a CD, it's usually about 90 minutes, although this was a double CD. So actually, I think it's about 80 minutes. I take that back. But the final vinyl version was a triple LP, which was 2.5 sides of music on the vinyl. And then the flip side of the third disc was an etching in the back of it. So the flip side of the third side does not play, but it's an etching of our symbol, which is super fucking awesome. I'm really happy we did that. But look, we were on the Darkness Remains touring cycle. So the album is called Live Darkness for that reason. We played every song that's on Darkness Remains on this live record. So obviously we opened with Welcome to the Night. I really wanted to make sure that the Darkness Remains album was totally represented here and the classic Night Demon songs before that from Curse of the Damned and the EP were sprinkled in there in a way that flowed really well. So I had written the set list out, 10 or 20 times and had made some kind of playlist where I could listen to it. But the thing is, we play the songs live so much faster than we did on those studio recordings. So initially, I thought it was too long. There was too much time, but we actually spent quite a bit of time rehearsing as a band. Hey, what do you know? How's that? How's that notion? Rehearse before you go out and do this stuff. I mean, we were super tight from the road, but still, this was such a special thing for us. We really, really wanted this to go well. And again, I know I'm repeating myself, but we had one fucking shot at this. So I think the guys had some input once we started rehearsing the set and going, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that, change some things around here. In the end, I'm really happy with the set list. And, prior to 2020, prior to releasing new music, to me, I think it's the definitive Night Demon set list. I really do. Of the early years, I think it's great.
The way we picked that set, I mean, it pretty much ran like any other set that we would do live when we do headlining shows and we're doing a bunch of songs. I mean, we just kind of, there's definitely a sort of an opening block that we always kind of stick to. The Welcome to the Night thing, that always works great first because we have the intro. We play that over the PA while we're kind of backstage behind the amps. And then as soon as it comes into the end of it, we walk out and we hit those chords in the beginning. That always works great. Usually followed by like Full Speed Ahead or Ritual or kind of a ripper, older song like that. So this time we did Welcome, Full Speed Ahead, Ritual. Curse of the Damned is a good kind of mid-tempo. It's a fan favorite, so we kind of give you that a little early in the set. Then Dawn Rider, and then basically we start placing, because there's a handful of songs that have recorded intros that we use. And those are our little times to go drink water, to wipe off the sweat, take a breath, because like I said, we don't really stop in between songs. You know, it's like a breath and then boom, we're into the next thing. It's kind of a Ramones, kind of like how the Ramones would do their sets, you know. They just no stops, no talking, no bullshit, just go through the whole fucking thing, you know.
I think Jarvis will kind of go through and get his take on the set list because of vocal and also, you know, certain keys that we don't really want to do too much back to back. We want the set to flow with tempos as well. But I think mainly as far as his vocals, stuff like that, he'll kind of just, you know, think of it that way. But also he doesn't want too many songs to, you know, have the same key and flow into each other. And, you know, I think that most people that listen don't really understand that kind of stuff, but it makes a lot of sense for us to kind of have to really plan out. I think, like, you know, Armand and I will come up with a couple suggestions here and there or certain things, but like sometimes I want to play a certain song and it just doesn't work for that night or whatever, and you know, so we have to just kind of bend a little bit with each other and just kind of go with what works best for the whole group. I know that Jarvis probably spent a lot more sleepless nights than I did going over the set list in his head. I think that once we kind of got the set list together, we went in and we jammed and we went through everything as if it was a live show. And then that's when we start to make changes and to really kind of fine-tune the whole set as what it is. It's all about the flow, and it's all about the energy, and it's all about taking the crowd on a ride. You know, because you have a couple burners right off the bat, then we kind of break it down a bit. Then we go into another burner and then break it down, kind of really build it up. Once we, one of the segues I was trying to remember was Save Me Now into Hollowed Ground. That was one segue we had to work out. And then a little bit of talking before Mastermind. So yeah, we were able, and then Ancient Evil and Satan, those two songs go really well back to back. Then we have Evil Like a Knife. Yeah, and then we kind of just ride it out from there. But it was a well thought out set list.
When you check out the set list on the album, it differs a tiny bit from the full live show, and we'll get into that in a bit. But check out this set list. Welcome to the Night, Full Speed Ahead, Ritual, Curse of the Damned, Dawn Rider, Save Me Now, Hollowed Ground, Made in Hell, Mastermind, On Your Own, Life on the Run, Howling Man, Black Widow, Ancient Evil, Satan, Evil Like a Knife, Stranger in the Room, Screams in the Night, Flight of the Manticore, The Chalice, Darkness Remains, with an encore of Heavy Metal Heat and Night Demon. Man, what a set list. One thing about the set list I'll mention, in the subscribers area on nightdemon.net, there's pictures from the show, and you can actually see pictures of the actual set list from that night. So it's a little bonus content. One thing about this set list you'll notice is there's some songs like Mastermind and Save Me Now that were back in the set list, and they're kind of rarities. These songs, though, they didn't really pose a challenge to the band at all. They were like honed so sharp and tight from months of nonstop touring.
I don't think we had to worry about learning or relearning. I guess the only songs we really worked on was Evil Like a Knife, because we had never done that before, so we really wanted to make sure that was tight. Yeah, there might have been a song like Mastermind isn't a very frequent song that we play. But like I said, man, after all that time touring, I mean, we were just there. You know, the band was just fucking firing on all cylinders. You know, it was a pretty much a no-brainer that we were going to be able to pull this thing off and play any song, you know.
I think because of how long we've been a band and how many times we've played these songs, it wasn't anything that we really had to relearn. It's more of just like brushing up on certain parts. Like for me, it's certain fills. If I haven't played the song in a while, I kind of have to get my muscle memory back in order. Especially because we did Evil Like a Knife. That was a song I had to learn. I think mentally that was one of the songs that I had to kind of really just keep a mental note of how many times I was doing certain parts and when to change from one thing or the other. But as far as having each song planned out and ready to roll, we're pretty prepared when it comes to playing our songs. And that's kind of like we hold each other to a pretty high standard so that everybody does their homework. And, you know, sometimes we might make an audible on stage and say, hey, let's play that song because somebody just yelled it out in the crowd. And, you know, you don't want to be the guy in the band with your tail caught between your legs because that doesn't look good to the crowd. And it's just it's a bad feeling if you can't play your songs. At least that's how I feel personally. So I take pride in knowing how to play our songs. And I think sometimes in my spare time, I'll go over a lot of the songs just because I want to stay fresh on them just in case I do need to play them. So I think we're all pretty prepared when it comes to playing Night Demon songs. We know what we need to do. Certain covers, yeah, I would think that we'd kind of have to maybe rehearse it here and there just because it might be a song we haven't played in a long time. But, you know, sometimes at a live gig, we'll just call it out and just go for it. So you never know. Just got to be prepared.
We didn't really have to relearn any songs for the live record because the cool thing about us, at least what I think is cool, is that our songs are short. They're to the point. We don't milk the hook. We get out as quick as we get in. And that's why when you come see Night Demon live, you can hear so many songs in the amount of time that we have. I mean, nothing is worse than when you're supporting a band or you see a support band that you really like that only has 20 or 30 minutes on stage and they play 4 or 5 songs. I've seen it time and time again. Or you go see your favorite band headline in an arena and they're playing for 2.5 hours. And the set list is like 12 to 14 songs. It's not enough for me. It's not enough for us. And we've just never been a band we don't draw it out longer than it needs to. So I would say this, that, you know, Darkness Remains had come out, I don't know what, 6-8 months before this was recorded, before the live album was recorded. So we had known those songs pretty well. And the other songs we had been playing so much on the road prior to that. So we really didn't have anything in there that we had to relearn. But we did, again, take the time to work on the segues. We think that's important. A lot of times we do that. We'll add pieces of music in to segue from one song to another so it flows like one whole piece.
So it's an epic set list. When you take into account that Night Demon at this point has 1 EP and 2 albums, they play every single song in their catalog except for 3. Livin' Dangerous. Livin' Dangerous, great song, for some reason not in the set list. Another song that gets skipped over, Run for Your Life. Run for Your Life, another great song with a really cool riff. Also not on the set list. And last but not least, I think this is one of Night Demon's most underrated songs, Killer. I happen to like all these songs. I think Killer is awesome. So why did these songs in particular get left out of the set list?
Run for Your Life, we played quite a bit early on in the band. And it's a great song. I think that song translates pretty well. Honestly, I think we just didn't have enough time for that song, or else we probably would have put it on there. Killer, I think that's a song, I don't know if like Brent and Jarvis would think that that's like an elementary kind of song. I don't think so. When I first joined the band and I recorded Curse of the Damned, Killer was one of my favorite songs. It's got a Kill 'Em All type vibe. It sounds like a lost track off that album. But it's a song that, I don't know, just kind of got pushed aside over time. There's nothing about that song that we absolutely hate or anything like that. It's just a song that we don't really play too much. That's just a weird one. And then Living Dangerous, that's another song that just kind of is what it is. I think with the progression of the band, Killer and Living Dangerous just happened to just kind of come in second place. I still think Run for Your Life is a really solid, strong song. It's a great story. It's a true story. Maybe we'll get into that in future podcasts, but I enjoy that song. I think it's a good track, and I like all three songs, but out of all the songs on that album, I can see why we didn't do those three. I'm sure certain fans would love to hear those songs, and for some fans, it might be some of their favorite ones. So I apologize for not playing those songs, but I can't say never say never, but we have a lot of new songs coming out, so I just think over time, you can only do so much. So let's see what happens in the future.
The only thing I think I might change is, I don't know, we maybe could have done without a song like On Your Own and maybe put in Run for Your Life or Killer. I think those songs from Curse of the Damned really never got a lot of live play and a lot of love. But when I listen back to them, I think they're really great songs. And I really do think that we're going to be bringing those back into some future set lists. And they definitely need to be recorded for an official live record. So the next time we do a live record, I'm almost positive that Killer and Run for Your Life are going to be on there.
So Night Demon takes the stage and they're crushing it, blowing everyone away with this set list. When you hear the album, you can hear the intensity, all the tension and anticipation. It finally unleashes a band playing with a like this fury and passion, and the crowd is getting blown away. So both Night Demon fans and also new fans who are seeing the band for the first time.
My name is Zach Friedberg. Besides being a diehard Night Demon fan, I've had the privilege of traveling across the country with the band, handling light design and selling merch. I remember a lot of merch sales that night, but most Night Demon shows nowadays have a lot of merch sales. Typically what happens, and this night was no exception, is right at the opening, people make a good run on the table, buy a lot of stuff. Those sales are people who already are fans, and they just want to grab whatever they don't have. Then, after Night Demon performed, there was another solid run on the table with a big line. Those sales are people that just heard Night Demon for their first time and had their hair totally blown back. Night Demon just has a way of doing this. People don't know what to expect, they see him for the first time, they're hooked, and they're at the merch table picking up anything that they can get. I think the biggest selling items that night were really the albums. A lot of the new people were picking up actual records. But then again, tons of shirt sales too. The band had a lot of older designs shipped in that they didn't have as many sizes of. Those basically sold out, and a lot of the staple designs like the EP shirt sold out in a bunch of the popular sizes. So it was definitely a solid night on merch.
Well, that's the thing about Night Demon. As good as they are on the album, they're really an unstoppable force live. I would challenge any metal fan to see Night Demon and not be converted to a fan. And that's kind of why this live album is so valuable. It gets that experience across very well. It's the definitive Night Demon. That's it for part 3. Next week, we're going to dig into this show track by track. And we'll break down these songs. You'll hear some never-before-heard audio from the concert. There's more bonus content at nightdemon.net/subscriber. We've got the original set list, some unearthed live shots from the concert. And check this out. In the subscriber store, there's a few, very few, Live Darkness super rare triple LPs in transparent red vinyl. It's a European import. It includes a double CD. There's a couple of those left. Again, this is triple transparent red vinyl. Looks very cool. You can check that out in the subscriber store. Also, we have some limited stock, fresh from the archives, of the Cleveland Night Demon shirts in the exclusive subscriber store. So it's a really cool design. It has Rocky holding a heart on a silhouette of the state of Cleveland. It's pretty cool looking. Not many left, so don't sleep on that. Until next time, this is Nesbitt signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. Head over to nightdemon.net, click on the subscriber tab, and sign up to access exclusive weekly bonus content. If you would like to donate to support the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast, you can do so through PayPal at paypal.me/nightdemonmetal. Additionally, if you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, rate, and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Unbearable suspense that keeps you on the edge of an abyss of terror.
Take a cult film odyssey into Cinemadness with Cinematic Void. Based in Los Angeles, Cinematic Void is a film series that specializes in horror and exploitation films. Currently, we are hosting Cinematic Void Up All Night in the Cinemadness movie, a monthly virtual screening series, as well as the Cinematic Void podcast, where we dive deeper into the world of cult cinema. You can find Cinematic Void on the World Wide Web at cinematicvoid.com, as well as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you like what we do, you can support Cinematic Void by joining our Patreon. Until next time, see you in the void.